Hey everybody, Vickie here, and I decided today would be another Saturday PJ Coach Day. Something that I've actually been wanting to do is do PJ Coach Day because, well, I love PJs and I get into my PJs as early as possible. And sometimes there's PJ days where we at home stay in our PJs all day long. But I did have a point to all of this. You know, one of the things that when I became a coach, hey Sierra, I really didn't want people to think that you had to be a certain way or that you couldn't be normal or, that I was somebody that I wasn't when I was online or traveling at an event or this and that. Now, if you have been a friend for a while or following me for a while, you probably notice that sometimes I dress in sweats, sometimes I have my PJs on, sometimes I go to an event and I have my cool high heels on, which I love. Sometimes I get dressed up to go out and sometimes I don't. And it's been interesting because I really wanted to let people know that being a coach, being out there, being a speaker, being an author, doing all these cool things didn't mean that you couldn't be normal. Hey everybody, oh my gosh, I can't read everybody's names because I'm too far away. And I got progressive 3 years ago and I swear they don't really work. Josie, Ashley, Sherry, hi. So that was one of my goals when I first became a coach and I saw all these, perfect people out there. It was almost like the models of coaching, right? Everybody all looked so put together. Their makeup was always great. They looked like they rolled out of bed just being perfect. And well, I have always been that type of person that wakes up, combs my hair one time, and I don't want to comb my hair or look at it again. Sadly, I have two little cowlicks at the bottom here, so it's like my hair goes in this side and on this side it likes to flip out and it kind of drives me crazy. But I don't really care sometimes. Okay, I have to say I do care sometimes. I will iron it and fix it, but for the most part, throughout the day it doesn't matter to me, right? I've always loved dressing differently, and I wonder if you guys do too. Hi Althea, hey Cindy, tell me about that. Are there many facets and faces and looks of you? I like to say that there are many looks to Vickie. Today I happened to decide I was going to put my cat ears on. I really like these. They're like so entertaining, and then they kind of match the bow, and this whole thing covers up the fact that I don't have a lot of makeup on this morning. But from the time I was very little, I loved dressing differently. And you'll notice that I own the basic black t-shirt. I own basic black pants. I own a little black dress. But for the most part, I love colors. And okay, I gotta back up because see, you can see my PJ bottoms. They have smiley faces all over on the match. But for the most part, I've always loved dressing differently. And when we were growing up, we were pretty poor. And my mom would sew clothes for me. And my sister and I, she's 4 years older than me, we totally took everything differently. If you have kids, you probably have this thing too. Like every child you have, even though it's the same household, they take things differently, right? So for me, being creative and artistic and all that stuff and loving to stand out. And for all my life, I have made it wrong to like to stand out. Hey guy, hey Shirley, I like to be noticed. I don't know, I just kind of like that. I like being different. I like being a little quirky sometimes. So my mom would sew clothes and my sister took it as, we're so poor. Oh, woe is me, we're so poor. And when I would help my mom, and this is another thing, I would help my mom sew clothes for me as well. I'd pick the buttons, I'd help her take the needles out. It was a fun time for me and my mom, one of those special times. And so when I would go to school and I would have my cool new outfit on, I'd show up and be like, oh, look at me. My mom made this for me. And I was so excited. And my things were all unique because I got to pick the fabric. She asked me, what I wanted. I remember I had this jean. It was in elementary school, 3rd grade. I had this jean vest and it had all these different buttons on it. It had a popsicle, it had red eyeglasses. They were the coolest buttons ever. But when my sister got stuff like that, she went to school embarrassed. I went to school proud because my mom had made it for me. It was so special to me, and I loved being different and standing out. I remember as well, and I'm going to date myself here, where the Bee Gees were popular. And they had those shiny, shiny, shiny pants, right? And they were made out of, I don't know, like back then spandex wasn't really a thing like it is with all our yoga pants and jogging pants and stuff like that. We wore jeans, right? And I remember my mom in 4th grade buying me this pair of pants, and they were very shiny and they were so cool. I thought I was the neatest, hottest thing since sliced bread. I went in there looking like I was, a superstar. And I remember somebody coming up to me. I remember exactly who it was. And he said to me, "Why are you wearing those pants? You really think you can pull that off?" And I remember that day, still to this day, 30 some years later, because I was like, I think I do. I think I can pull those things off. Hey, Johnny, happy birthday to Nash. So anyways, I got those pants, and that day I actually was embarrassed. I was thinking, wow, they don't like me, they don't think I can pull it off, and things like that. But looking back, I was really happy about those pants. And even earlier this week, it seems like it's a thing. Maybe it's because I just like to wear different clothes sometimes. Like, yeah, I can look very normal, right? But I have very many looks. And even earlier this month, somebody told me that I shouldn't show up so casually, or I shouldn't show up looking so cute, or I shouldn't show up looking like a teenager, that I should look more professional and put together all the time. Otherwise, I was degrading my brand. And this person potentially might have a coronary watching me do this in my PJs and cat ears, but I don't care. And I let it hurt and sting for just a little while. And then I got to thinking about it. Is it really more about me, or is it more about them? It seemed like it came from a place of love. Hey, Phil. And this person, I really do like her. She's my friend. And it seemed like it was coming from a place of love. So I didn't take offense to it or anything, but I did sit and think about it overnight. And then I decided that, you know what? It wasn't really about me, because I choose to show up the way that I choose to show up. And one day I may dress like I look like a college student. Another day I might dress like a frumpy little mom. Actually, I hope I don't ever really dress like that. But, I do have a few shirts that remind me of my mother. So it is a possibility that I show up sometimes looking like a mom. Sometimes I show up as the successful coach on stage because that's what I'm doing that day. Sometimes I show up, professional for a networking event. And other times I show up on video in my PJs. And here's what I wanted. There is a point to all of this talk about how I dress. My point is that I want to encourage you not to change yourself for other people. Hey, Becky, I want to encourage you not to go try to fit in a mold of what you think you should be for your industry, your status in life, your momness, your wifeness. I don't know what to talk, your spouseness. What do you want to call that? Be true to yourself. And even if you get feedback, you get to choose what you do with that feedback. I did a post a little while back that basically said that sometimes you really need to consider the source. I had a friend right out of college, one of my very best friends out of college, and She always said to me, consider the source, consider the source. Who's telling you that? Are they somebody that you trust? Are they somebody with a good perspective? Are they somebody that you want to take advice from? And advice in that category. So you might want to take advice from somebody in certain categories that they are an expert in, and maybe not take advice from them from other things because they might be working on their own stuff and projecting on you. So the point of this all is, I love doing Saturday PJ Coach. I hope I can do it more often. These last few weeks have been kind of crazy. I've been in San Diego. I was in Los Angeles for my daughter's graduation. I was in Detroit for my son's robotics competition. And then like all these other things happen. I've done like 2 sessions of Saturday PJ Coach, and I want to make this a little bit more regular to come on and talk. I mean, like, seriously, I think one of the things that people tell me all the time, which I love so much, is that I'm approachable, I'm just real, I just say it how it is. I think I'm a little funny. But behind the scenes of having a successful business does not mean that you're a stiff, perfect person in the background. And I'm going to show you something. I am not the best housekeeper. I'm going to actually show you this. This is my living room disaster zone. My son had a project earlier this week. Sometimes I face the camera so that it's like this, so that it doesn't look like the house is messy, you know? And here's another thing. All right, so if I go through here, this room actually is clean. The piano room. You want to know why? Because nobody does anything in here. And then if you look over here, okay, oh gosh. Yep, I am revealing all my stuff. That's my desk. And, hey, you know what? I've been reading articles that a sign of intelligence is being messy, so that's fabulous for me. Those things just crack me up because it's like you read one article and it says one thing, you read another article, it says another thing. Hey, Marav, hey, Don. So anyways, I just want to jump on this morning. Saturday, it's a little drizzly out over here. Trying to figure out what we're going to do and grill out for Memorial Weekend. But, you know, just stay true to you, regardless of what other people say. Hey, Joss. Oh my gosh, talk about old-time friend. Jocelyn lived, gosh, I think it was 3 houses, right? Hey, 3 houses away from me. So she saw my handmade clothes from my mom. So Joss, if you haven't go back and listen to that, make a comment. I don't know if you even remember those clothes that my mom used to make me. But anyways, I just want to encourage you, no matter what you do in life, if you're an entrepreneur, if you're not an entrepreneur, whatever it is, dress however the heck you feel like it. Take feedback only from people that you trust in that category. See if their feedback is really mirroring their stuff or if it's really true for you. And you get to choose if you take that feedback and do something with it, or you take that feedback and go, you know what, thanks, but no thanks. All right? Cool. So Saturday PJ Coach hopefully will be coming to you a little more regularly, and I will talk to you later. Have a fabulous, fabulous weekend. Bye.